Okay, all right, everyone. Hi, everyone. I think we have a considerable number of normal human beings here, so we can go ahead. Good evening, good evening, good evening. My name is Orifunke Lawal. I am excited to have you guys here. I am super excited. I've been looking forward to this I mean, from the point where we announced that we were going to have this course. I've been seriously looking forward to this, and then I am so glad that we eventually get to have this this course, and then we're starting tonight. So I am super, super, super excited, and I want to say thank you very much for joining. Thank you for enrolling. I know that some of you enrolled. You sent it to your family members, sent it to your friends, your husband, your boyfriend, your girlfriend. You sent it to everybody. He said this thing you must attend. So I want to say thank you to all of you who enrolled and all of you who shared with people, who made sure to drag people here. And so all of you who have liked this video, thank you so much. Thank you very much. So before I go ahead, right, we are on Twitter. So if you're on Twitter, you can, and then there are parts of the class that they just hit you differently. They just touch your heart, right? Just make sure you post. You just do a tweet on Twitter and then use the hashtag YPAP with OL. Let me see. So YPAP with OL. Right. So just make sure you use it so that we can track it, so that I can see it after, and then I can retweet it, and then I can reply as much as I can. So once again, thank you so much for joining, and then I really, really hope that this is as fulfilling for you as I expect this to be. My name is Orifunke Lawal, and so I'm the founder of the Orifunke Lawal Academy. I run an academy that I started last year. And what we basically do at the academy is that we help people, we equip people to make more money. We help people increase their money making abilities by teaching them relevant skills and abilities. So we currently have two courses. We have the Canva Growth Program, and then over 120 people have gone through it. If you're a CGP graduate, yeah, please let me see you. Let me see you. So we have a Canva growth program where people learn how to design for their personal brands, for their businesses, and for their careers. And then we are currently in the fifth session, the fifth cohort. It's going on, and then also on the side we have the content creation and marketing program for people who want to for people who want to learn how to use content, create content, and then learn the process of content marketing for their businesses and personal brands. So that's what I do. I'll say that's what I do full time, right? And then on the side I consult for businesses and all of that. So I have experience in branding and corporate communications, career consultation, SEO, marketing, and then I don't want to start blowing my trumpets, right? So I can see some of my CGP people. Yes, yes. I'm blowing you kisses. All right. So yes, that is what I do. And then I also run Lady with Balls, right? Lady with Balls is a community of ladies. LWVs in the house. Please let me see you people. I run Lady with Balls, and Lady with Balls is an online community of ladies where you have support, you get to grow. It's just the best place to be for the young lady who lives in Nigeria and in Africa. So, right, I think those are the two major things that I do. So, I want to say thank you, and I want to say welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome. I can see your comments rolling in, and then I am with you. So, today we are going to be starting the Young Professionals Advancement Program with a topic called Self and Identity Awareness. Now, let me just do a background, tell you a background story of why I decided to host this course. Now, I could talk fast at some point, so if you feel like I'm talking too fast for you and you're unable to take notes, please just make sure you just you know let me know, right, so that I can slow down. Yeah. So it's been like almost 1 year, yeah, since I had the idea of having a career consultation, sorry, a career mentorship for younger people. I just felt that people had problems on. I don't want to say problems. Let me know it's problems, right? I just feel like people have challenges that they're going through in their careers, and then they make mistakes, and really they don't see anything. And sometimes it's not even because they don't want to see anything, it's because they don't even know that there could actually be better solutions. So at the beginning of this year, that was in January, I started to plan, the kind of courses we should have for the academy in the first quarter. And then this just came to mind. It was so strong. It just felt like there are certain people who badly need this course. And then it just felt like it came with a sense of urgency for me. And that's why I decided to do this. Normally, my courses are paid, right? I mean, especially as it is extended, we're going for 4 weeks. That's a long time. My courses are paid for, but I just said that I needed to make it free because I know a lot of people need to actually watch this. A lot of people need to to understand certain things. A lot of people who need to, you know, a lot of people who need to remedy mistakes that they've made in the past, and people who need to avoid mistakes that are lurking somewhere in the future for them. Yes, so that is why we are here. And then I'm also trying to, I mean, one of the reasons why I'm having this course is because I feel like there are a lot of career programs, but many of the career programs share stuff that other career programs share. And I mean, I'm not saying this to, put anybody down, because I know that these things are relevant, absolutely relevant. They're absolutely relevant. And then I just found out that a lot of things that a lot of career organizations share usually have to do with regular things like writing your cover letter, writing your CVs, applying for jobs. And of course, people need to apply for jobs. That's absolutely fine. And then, so I knew that a lot of people think that that is all they need to actually start and grow their careers. But I can tell you that your job, please, I can start talking at I started teaching, right? So please just start taking notes. Don't wait for me to say number one, this, first thing, that, second thing. No, please don't wait for that. So so my bias against people only talking about applying for jobs or building their careers or getting promotions. My bias towards that is that a lot of times, right? There are steps that people have missed, right? And then there are steps that people miss, and that's one of the challenges that they face, and that's one of the hindrances that they have. Some people feel like what they need is a job, right, to start their career, or what they need is another job. But when you sit down with them and discuss with them, you find out that getting a job should be the least of their worries at that point in time. You find out that there's a lot they don't know. There's so much, there's a mindset problem that they might be facing. There could be a misfit problem in the kind of careers that they want. There's just so much. And when we only focus on people getting jobs or people getting promotions at their jobs, we are basically trying to say that your job is your career. And that is not true. Your job is not your career, and your career is not your job, right? Your job is only part of your career. Your career is wider. So your career can consist of your job, the job that you do. It can consist of internship opportunities. It can consist of the projects that you've worked on. It can consist of the volunteer opportunities that you have had. So when you ask people that, oh, what's your career, and they will tell you I'm an accountant. No, that's just what you do, right? That's what you do. So your career is not, can you guys hear me? Are we together? So your career is not your job, right? Your career is, it's a culmination of different stages, jobs, activities, everything that contributes overall to what you do. So that's why you can move from job to job. from internship to internship. You can move from volunteering to volunteering, but you in the same career line. It's why you can. I think we will hold. I mean, we hold our parents' generation, our parents' generation responsible, because a lot of them stayed in one career for most of their lives. We have parents who have been in one company for 25, 35 years. So that is the only thing that they've done. So for them, right, their career seems to be the job that they do, right? But that is not your career is not just it's not just your day job, right? It's not your day job. I like to see my career as a purpose. And so I'm going to digress a bit. So I like to see my career as a purpose. And when you understand your purpose, you understand that your purpose is not just a destination. Your purpose is not I want to be this, I want to be that. Your purpose is not all of that. Your purpose it's a destination. It's a combination of different journeys that you're going to make, different things that you're going to get your hands on, different people that you're going to meet, different places that you're going to be. In fact, different mistakes that you are going to make. So see your career as a part of your purpose. So it's not somewhere that you're going. It's not one thing that you're doing. So it cannot be your job. It's a combination of different relevant things, and then it's a marathon, right? It's not a sprint. It's not a sprint. So it's so important, right? So I just wanted to address this, because you get a lot of people who feel like starting and building their career means getting a job. No, it does not mean getting a job, right? So that is like I said, yes. So I am glad that we are following. Amazing. Thank you so much. So self and identity awareness. So we have self awareness and identity awareness. And why do we have this particular model? Right? Why do we have this particular model? Because a lot of people have career problems that stem from poor self and identity awareness. You can see some people go through problems. You can see some people refuse to apply for certain things. You can see some people make certain mistakes. You can see some people self-sabotage themselves simply because they they do not have a proper self-awareness. They do not understand who they are. And then they do not understand who they are, right? And then it just affects them. It affects the kind of jobs that they take. And the truth is that the kind of career line, the kind of career that you eventually start, or the one that you decide to switch into, for those of you who will be switching careers or career lines, and then awesome, thank you very much. And then for those of you who are going to be switching careers, is largely dependent on how well you know yourself. I know a lot of times people always say, "Do you know yourself?" And then it feels like it's something that is, cliche, it's regular. Do you know yourself? Do you know who you are, and all of that stuff? But it's not just cliche stuff. If you're going to advance in your career, you need, like, it's so important. Self-awareness is important, and your identity awareness is also important. No, you cannot share the link on your status. Although I know that some of you would have shared it anyway, but no, you're here because you registered. Right. So I absolutely understand Tosin Adekome. Trust me, we did all we can. We did all we can to make sure that this is. Thank you very much, philanthropist. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So that's why self-awareness is absolutely important, and that's why we're starting this part of the program, because I believe that if you understand better, stuff about yourself, and then you're able to apply that to your career, and maybe not just even your career, you will find out that you get transferable knowledge that you can apply to other aspects of your life. Then it's just really going to help you. It's really going to help you, right? So the program is supposed to, you already have the timetable. So we'll have like live classes like this twice a week. It's supposed to run for 1 hour, 30 minutes. Right? Well, all things being equal, and then you have your ops. please take your obs seriously. I know some of you don't like groups, you like to hide. Don't worry, we are coming to your table today, but take your obs seriously because you do not know the kind of connections that you're going to create during this program, right? So yeah, so are we together? I want to be sure that we are together. I want to be sure that yeah, okay, so I think so now let's talk about self-awareness. When we talk about self-awareness, like I'm just going to be as quick as possible. We are talking about you understanding the different aspects of who you are. Thank you. You understanding. Yes, I like your energy, Kemi. You understanding the different aspects of who you are, right? It's not just knowing yourself. People often say, oh, just know yourself. And then knowing yourself is broad because, of course, you won't always be able to know yourself. Like, you can't know yourself completely. Thank you. You cannot know yourself completely. So self-awareness is deeper than the regular advice or just know yourself. It is understanding the different aspects of who you are. It is understanding the things that make you you, right? It is understanding the things that make you you. Why do you do certain things in certain ways? We're going to come back to that. Why do you do certain things in certain ways? Who are you? Why do you do certain things in certain ways? How do you respond to certain things? Where do you like being? How do certain things, in certain places make you feel? So self-awareness is, it's understanding different aspects of who you are. Like it is having an understanding of yourself. And why is this important, right? When you are launching into a career or you are starting a job, let me use starting a job. A lot of people take jobs. a lot of people, a lot of people take jobs accidentally. And okay, thank you. I'm going to slow down. All right. Okay, I'm going to slow down. So a lot of people get into jobs and career lines accidentally. And I'm sure that many of us, I don't want to say most of us in this climate, especially in a place like Nigeria, for those of you who are Nigerians. Yes, thank you, Ejike. A lot of you are, in fact, it's like we have a progress. It's like we have a process of, it's like there are a lot of accidental things that happen to us. Do you agree with me? A lot of accidental things, like a lot of things that you don't plan that just happen to you. So if I ask you that the kind of job you're currently at or the course you're currently studying, is this something that you picked? Is this something you sat down and decided, okay, I want to study this course, or I want to pick this job? I mean, what would be your answer? Because for a lot of us, right, we just finished secondary school, and then possibly when you were in SS1, and then they wanted to put you in different classes. They wanted to put you in different classes, and then they just asked you, what do you want to become when you grow up? You say, I want to become a chemical engineer. Okay, you're going to science class. They'll put you in science class. What do you want to become in the future? I want to become a doctor. Yes, you science class. You be in jet club. Oh, so what do you want to be? Because I want to be a lawyer. You should be in the arts. Oh yeah, take you into the arts. They say, what do you want to be? I want to be an accountant. Your destiny is in commercials. Like, I know they're quite different, but at least a lot of us can understand where I'm coming from. So they'll say, oh, you belong to commercial department. Oh yeah, go there. And so a lot of us you didn't know why, right? It was just possibly because of what society had dictated for you. You know somebody in your family is a doctor, your father is a lawyer, you see somebody on TV, and then you just develop accidentally, unknowingly. You just develop passions from the things that you see, from the people that you see, without ever sitting down to decide that, is this really what I want to do? And is this what I am equipped to do? Is this what I can do? Right? So, after finding yourself, I have a story. Like, I'm not going to go into my story. Oh, Amarachi, I'm so sorry about that. Right? I'm not going to go into my story of how Yes, but I wanted to be a chemical engineer, right, when I was in secondary school. Now, how I studied geography is in my memoir. Please go and download it for free when you're done. So a lot of people are like that. A lot of us, many people are like that. There was no practical career coaching for you to tell you, okay, so if you want to go to the arts, this is where you should be. And so now you have gone through a first stage of should I say accident, right? I don't say accident, but you just found yourself there accidentally. And because there's a problem there, it's a foundational problem. By the time you want to fix, you want to choose your courses before you enter the university, it just follows a foundational problem that has already started. Are we together? It follows a foundational problem that has started. So, for instance, somebody who accidentally went into the sciences simply because of what they've seen and all of that, they accidentally went into the sciences. There's a high chance that they will accidentally pick or they will wrongly pick the kind of courses they want to pick when they're trying to enter the university. Because I mean, how do you expect that I was in the sciences, I wanted to be a chemical engineer, and then I now somehow find myself at some point and then I decide that I want to be a lawyer. Like it's so, I mean, the career lines are so different. They are so different, right? It's just not planned. So because you have started on a wrong foot, you just see that you're going ahead and then you're picking a course again because you already started anyway. And a lot of times you don't even know. In fact, most of the time you don't know. Now let's move on to Nigeria's kind of educational, the JAMB, the UTME system. Then you write, you study, you read. I mean, those times when we had the kind of UTME that we had, right, and post UTME that we had, you write, you study and everything, and you write your UTME, and then you write your post UTME. You want to study medicine in the Obafemi Awolowo University, Ife, which happens to be my alma mater, and then you you study, and you want to study that, and then you study and you study, and then you just find out that you write your post UTME, and then when they come out, you now say they gave me zoology. Please, apologies here. Apologies if you studied zoology. I'm sorry, right? I'm so sorry. So so you'll be like, oh, they gave me zoology, but somebody said that when I get to 200 level, I'll be able to transfer back to medicine if I have a CGP. Sorry, if I have a CGPA of 4.90. And and you see, people really ever change courses. You just see that once you started, that's so. Please, apologies, right? I studied geography, so honestly, I can feel whatever you want to feel. I can feel it, right? So you just find you just find out that that's zoology, like they said. That's the one you finish with. So you can see that from one accidental foundation, you're moving into another accidental foundation. Because the chances of you, especially if you went to a place like OAU and then you pass through White House, you will need the special grace of God, not special grace of God though, like special grace of God for you to actually be able to move from zoology and then skill all your all your White House courses. Oh my God! Right, so it's, you can see how we move from one accident to another accident, right? And then you go through a course. Like I always say that the Nigerian educational system is awful, and you will do yourself a favor unless you're currently in you're currently in a course that has a bright future. Please, that thing they tell you in 100 level, that thing that your lecturers tell you when you want to start GPY 101 or what is it called, and then they tell you introduction to something. Or let me say, I don't want to, call my department something like, but they tell you introduction zoology. I don't use zoology. Please, which department should I use again? But they just said introduction to something. And under introduction, they start to tell you in this course, these are the places you can work. You can work in federal ministry, you can work in this, you can work in that, you can work. And your head is already swelling. And by the time you get to 200 level, and then somebody asks you, somebody in your own church asks you, what are you studying? And you tell them, I'm studying this, and they ask you, so what do you want to work on? You just react everything that they've told you in GPY 101. Okay, I can work here, I can work here, I can work here, I can work here. Problem. That's another problem. So you see that you are going through one accident to another accident. Right? Please pardon the use of accident anyway. So you are going from one accidental line into another accidental line. So by the time you finished 4 years in zoology or whatever course it is, you just find out that in truth, you can't start a career in that line. Not because the course in itself is bad, not because the course in itself is bad, but because of the environment that you find yourself. Right? So, I've never used my degree. And sometimes I sit down and I wonder, what exactly could I have used my degree for? Like, where could I have used my degree for? And so you just find out that from the secondary level accident to the university level accident, and then you're just going on autopilot, and then you finish the university, you go for service, and then the next thing is you are finding yourself in, you just get to that point where you're just looking for any job. How many of you can relate? You're just looking for any job, like you don't even care. You studied chemistry, you don't care. Let me just see something. Let me just see something to just get. Right? And then that's where the problem starts from, because now you can see the danger of accidental phases. And you just find a lot of people, and they accidentally find themselves in a career line they don't like, but because they feel like, I don't have a choice, there's no job in the country, there's nothing I can do, they stay there for 5, 10, 20 years. Right? And I'm glad we can actually relate. And so we live in such an accidental system. It is terrible, but we live in an accidental system. Like, a knowledge of yourself, like proper self-awareness, will allow you to know the disadvantages that apply to you. We're going to come to that. The disadvantages that apply to you, it will allow you to know the advantages that apply to you. And when you are self-aware, you already know the odds that are stacked against you. When you are self-aware, you know the odds that are stacked in your favor. So it just reduces your chances of getting into further accidents that you might already have found yourself in. Right? So, okay. So Ngozi Chukwu said, I always wanted to be a nurse. Eventually studied accounting, and I am an auditor now. But God knows I hate my job. I absolutely understand. I absolutely understand. Right. So now that it's a we're now in a setting, in a system where things are rapidly changing. People are getting jobs beyond what they studied at school. I'm sure you already know these things, right? They are getting jobs beyond what they studied at school. It simply means that as a person, if you like yourself, if you like your future, if you like your career, if you like your future family, if you like your whatever it is, you cannot just be like a bicycle. You cannot just sit down. You cannot just sit down and say it go better, because you might. Well, I don't. Okay, it will be better, but right. So it's not only common to OAU, but I mean I know OAU, so I can always say that. So that's why it's important to understand yourself, like have an understanding of the different aspects of your life that make you. So it can help you. It can guide you in taking decisions. And then we also have identity. And when I talk about identity, people always talk about identity in terms of, oh, you need to know who you are, especially if you're a Christian, right? And they say you need to know who you are in Christ. But when I'm talking about identity with respect to career, I'm talking about who you are, the different aspects of you, and the possibility and potential of who you can be. Yes, who you are and the possibility and potential of who you can be. Because sometimes, as far as your career is concerned, who you are is nothing. Okay, so let me just personalize it, eh? So I'm not going to think about fighting, right? So sometimes, right? So it's my when it comes to my career, right? When it comes to my career, right? So who I am may be nothing to write home about. So if you are telling me who I am, I should believe in who I am, or I should know who I am. Well, you might be asking me to believe in a mediocre version of me, or a mediocre version, or a much watered version of what I can be, right? So there's the point of who you are, right? And then there's the potential of who you can be or who you should be. So okay, somebody already got it. Faisha for me already. I can see your comments, right? So thank you. I hope this is making sense. Please don't forget to use the hashtags if any part of it relates to you very, very well. Yes. Okay, so now I want us to talk about the different pillars of self-awareness. Different pillars of self-awareness. So please just type in the comments different pillars of self-awareness. Mm-hmm. Different pillars of self-awareness. I'm going to use self and identity awareness in general. Mm-hmm. Are you guys here? Awesome, awesome. Okay. Amazing. Okay. Oh, oh, Pamatosho. Okay, yes, thank you very much, right? Okay, so the first pillar I am going to be talking about is your personality. And I found out that a lot of times when people hear personality, it's not they don't exactly think about it properly. They just think personality is somebody is well, it's part of it anyway, but it's not restricted to that. But I can be sure that sometimes maybe before you knew better, or maybe you still go through it now. But when you see somebody who does anyhow, like the person is possibly rude, the person doesn't talk to people, you and someone say, why does she act like that? You're like, personality, I mean, yeah. Can you relate? You're like, personality, what's your man saying here? Right? And then you see somebody that is really, really, really extroverted, and that's actually a personality. Right? And then you see somebody who is really, jovial and all of that. Personality, that's her personality. That's her personality. And then you see somebody who is lazy, extremely lazy. That's her personality. In their family like this, that's what they do. It's their generational personality. Oh my god. So I mean those are part of it, but the reason you should know your personality is because your personality, right, it dictates a number of it dictates to a large extent how you see things, how you relate to people, how you respond to things, right? How you see things, how you relate to people, how you respond to situations, right? Your personality, it's your makeup, right? It is how you are built. So if somebody says that's how I am, actually that's how you are. That's right, right. But that's how you're built up. So it's your build up, and that's why. And there are certain things that you do. There are certain ways you respond to certain things, right? That have always been a part of you for as long as you can remember, and they weren't influenced by external circumstances or influenced by people or parents and all of that. I'm not saying that some of those things are not influenced by people or parents, and I'm saying that there are certain things, there are certain ways you behave, that are, responsible for, that are just different from how you would have behaved when you were a younger person, but you just notice that there are certain things that you've always done, right? For instance, I'm going to give an instance, right? I've, when I was a kid, people used to say I used to talk a lot, right? I used to talk a lot, like a whole lot. So it's not something that just started all of all of a sudden. That should be your network, Rhoda. That should be your network. Sorry about that. Yeah. So it's not something that just happened all of a sudden. So your personality is your makeup, right? It's how you see things, how you view things, how you relate with people, how you respond to people. So we have four different kinds of personalities, and then if you've not read the book, um, Why You Act the Way You Do by Tim Lahaye, I think you should read the book. Why You Act the Way You Do. I'm going to see if you can get soft copies. I really don't know. I'm going to see if you can legally get soft copies to share on the different ops. Yes, it is very possible. That's very possible, Tominson. That is that is very possible, right? So you have four major, kinds of personalities. So you have personality types, right? You have the sanguines, you have the phlegmatics, you have the cholerics, and you have the melancholics. Yes, the melancholics. So now, what understanding your personality will do for you? One of the things, and it's going to do a lot of things for you, but it will help you understand yourself better to a large extent. There are some of you who you don't like. Oh my God! Yes, by Tim Laye, right? So you will notice that some people they're naturally daring. They like to take risks. Their third name, my middle name is risk taker. And you find out that you may be the kind of person who likes to be on the safe side. You don't like to, you don't like to fail. You just like to be safe, and it can affect in the way you approach your career, because yeah, it can affect in it can affect in the way you approach your career and the kind of opportunities you want to apply for. It can always tell. Now, a sanguine, and then okay, I read this book about 8 years ago. I read this book about 8 years ago, and then it helped me understand myself better. You know that there are some of you, the only times that you ever sit down to think about yourself and see some things that are really about you. The only time you try to understand your personality is when somebody sends you. I'll check one table. Is when somebody sends you one link to a test, personality type, and you take it. I'm like, this thing looks like me. Oh, you don't know me. I just don't know my village people like this. Yeah, some of us are like that. Some of us are like that. So you're like, the only time you ever get to see something that feels like you, or that is extra close to you, is when you just see, and again, you accidentally see the link to one personality type. You just see it, and like, I'm because you man go. Right, apologies to my non-Yoruba speakers. No one I can relate. I'm like, how did you know me? Because you never actually sat down to say, oh, I mean, you never sat down to say, oh, I really want to know about myself. So that book allowed me to know myself. It allowed me to know, okay, so the reason I talk this way, the reason I am more gravitated towards people, the reason why I can be easily lovable is because I am a sanguine, right? And then I also have like a sort of almost dominant, I'll call it a recessive personality, that is a phlegmatic. So the reason why I don't like to go out, the reason like why I may not like to confront people, the reason why I don't like stress is because I'm a phlegmatic, right? Because phlegmatics are naturally more reserved, they are more laid back, right? So you can just do a Google search to find out. But that book is going to help you. It's going to teach you a lot about about that about your personalities, then you just see certain people, right? Now I once had a colleague that, well, I don't want to say I didn't like him. I liked him, but I just did not like his attitude. I felt like he was overbearing and all of that. And then it was easy for me to associate. The title of the book is Why You Act the Way You Do. Please write your questions down, right? So that you can ask me after. So now, I didn't like the way he was overbearing. It used to drive me crazy. But one of the ways I was able to relate with him was because I understood that this person is a choleric. Yeah, so some of you, you have people, you have people that look like they like, what's the word? What's the word for it? Or you might have noticed that you like to take charge of places, you like to take charge of things, you like to command people, you like to arrange things and all of that. And then people may just misunderstand you and say, oh, that's how she likes to do. She's over she wants to be doing like Oga, and she's not about Oga. And then when you understand, the different personalities, you understand that some cholerics are likely to act like that because that is their personality, right? And then you just find somebody who likes to stay on their own. They don't like problem. Like they are just so there. You will be like, this guy is always thinking to himself. What's the problem? What's he going through? And that's always how he is. Does not talk. If you put water in his mouth like this for 3 days, Jesus will die and rise up. You see misty water there, and then you would, if you when you understand different personalities, you would be able to tell, okay, this person is a melancholic, right? So when you understand your different personalities, you are even able to know the kind of careers that you want to be in. Because if you are somebody who is like a phlegmatic or you're a melancholic, you might not necessarily like being in front of a camera. So, but if you do not know that, you may see your friend who is in front of a camera doing well, and you want to start forcing yourself to be in front of a camera because you want to be like them, and you're not putting your personality into cognizance. You're not thinking about your personality. So those are the four major kinds of personalities, and personalities allow you to know, they allow you to know what you should do. What how you would react to situations. If somebody slaps me now, how will I react? Tell me, like, somebody slaps me, there's a particular way I will react. And if somebody slaps somebody else, they might be like Jesus and they will turn the right, and they will turn the left cheek. I'm not the kind of person who turn the left, but you guys get the point, yeah? Right, so it allows you to know how you respond to things. Some of you, when you have interviews, I'm going to be touching on different things, right? Because it's a starter. And then some of you, when you have interviews, you say stuff like, I can work under pressure. But you know your personality, you cannot work under pressure. So why are you lying? You cannot work under pressure. Me, I cannot work under, you not see it in my CV. I cannot work under pressure. I don't I don't like to work under pressure, but some people would say, I can work under pressure. Don't say I have excellent communication skills. But WhatsApp group, let's talk. You will not see anything, we will not see you. What do you think? You will not see anything. You say I agree. Everything they say, I agree. Okay, that's okay. I mean, let's not go there. Let's not go there, but right, but understanding your personality, right, it allows you to know the kind of things you can do. So, and the kind of things you cannot do. So you're not gonna be promising what is not something, and then when you have an interview and and all of that. So that's one of the reasons you need to know your personality. I'm going to send you, links to certain tools that you can take that will give you an idea of your personality. So you can actually take notes at please don't die, yo. So you can take notes, right, regularly, and then under personalities, I'm going to break down further into sub pillars, and you have your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, and your threats. And this thing, people always call it SWOT. They always say SWOT. And you would think that this is something regular. Yes, you think this is something popular. Everybody should know SWOT. But ask people, what are your strengths? Not everybody knows what their strengths are. Not everybody knows what their weaknesses are. So you want to know what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are. And then when you understand your strengths, you are able to find what your opportunities are. Because one problem people have is that they are trying to find opportunities when they've not identified their strengths. So, and if you do not identify your strength, every opportunity will look like a good opportunity to you. So you just be applying for everything, everything. You just be shooting, you just be shooting. Even if you're not eating anything, you just keep applying. You see A, apply. You see this, apply. You see this thing, you jump in. You know because you don't even know what your strengths are. It's not everything you can apply to. It's not everywhere you can be. It's not every opportunity that you can apply to. It's not every opportunity you can get because you do not have the strength for every single thing. Yes, it's what the T is for threat. There are certain people you don't know the threats that exist because you don't know your weaknesses. So now, if you sit down and you decide, okay, so these are what my strengths are, these are what my weaknesses are. So because these are my strengths, these are the certain kinds of opportunities I should have. Now, because these are my opportunities, then because these are my weaknesses, are the threats that I can be. It allows you to, it just allows you to prepare. It defines a lot of things for you from the kind of career that you choose to the kind of career that you switch to the kind of jobs that you enroll for, to the kind of internships that you take, to the kind of volunteer roles that you take for. You won't accidentally do things because you know that this is where my strengths lie, and these are the opportunities that I should be looking out for. Right? This is where my weaknesses are, and this is the opportunities I should be looking out for. Now, let's say that let's say for instance your weakness, one of your weaknesses is that you don't know how to write very well. Like you don't know how to write emails. Let's assume you don't know how to write emails. So now that's a weakness that you have. Now, how can that translate into a threat for you? It means that if you are trying to apply for a role with a lot of people, and then there are people who can write emails better than you are, they will likely land that role before you, and you wouldn't. That's a threat. Please, are you guys together? Like, this is actually really serious. It's a threat because it stems from weakness that you have. So look at people. A lot of people you see that they do well in their career line and then they're doing amazing. Look at all of them. A lot of them are functioning in their place of strength. Okay. Are you guys together? Okay, we're together. So you want to know, okay, what are my strengths, right? Especially with regard to my career. Imagine that you have a personality that is normally reticent, like you're normally a quiet person, like you're a phlegmatic or you're melancholy, and then you decide to take up a job as a salesperson. You know you, not you, but you know you will likely fail. Now you take up a job as a marketer, you take up a job as a salesperson that is not suited for the kind of strength that you have. You now take it up. How will you not say your village people? That's no, it's not your village people. It's not something that you should be doing. We're together, yeah. So it's not something that you should be doing. Imagine that you're somebody who likes to who is an extroverted person. You like to go all out and all of that, and then you find a job that you just have to be somewhere from morning till night. You're not doing anything, you're not interacting with anybody. You just find out that you're not doing fine. I mean, you're not finding fulfillment in that job because it is not where you should be. But people don't know these things because a lot of times, like I mentioned earlier, we accidentally find ourselves in places. That job, you just saw it somewhere, and then a day before the job, you just went on Google, read about the job, read about the job, right? You read about the place, read about the job, and then you just said, okay, so these are the things I need to learn and be, and then you just accidentally landed the job. I think, I think unintentionality has to be one of the problems that we have. It's one of the problems that we have I don't say in this part of the world because because it's just accidental. Somebody is shouting my name, told me, sing. Am I safe? Right? It's just accidental. It just happens. It's not like you planned for it. And then you just find out that it's hard for you to, climb up the ladder. And you find that you're constantly comparing yourself to people who look like you're doing well. Because even though you are earning more, even though you're earning a lot, you're earning money, you're comfortable, you still do not feel fulfilled. So yes, you want to pay attention to what your strengths are. You want to pay attention to what your weaknesses are, what your opportunities are, and what your strengths are. Yes, sorry, what your threat? Yes, the threat, like the problem that you have, like the, the problems that you have because you don't know things. Those are your threats, and you have threats. In fact, if you've done any serious marketing work before or business work before, you have to always do your SWOT analysis so that you can you know you will expand. You just be looking like a local champion, but you're not moving on because you're not understanding. So you need to pay attention to you don't just pay attention to just one part, pay attention to all of it, and then you need to be able to map them out. What are my strengths? Right? Because this is my strength, these are the things these are the opportunities I have. Now, I also want to bring something else. Your strengths may not be dependent on your personality alone, right? They can also be dependent on the kind of trainings or experiences that you've gotten. Did you get that? Your strengths do not necessarily, because if you're looking at your personality, you find out that some of your strengths may not be well refined, because that is who you are. They may not be well defined. So they can also be your skills, or that you've gotten through experience. And then I'm going to quickly give you a personal story. So in 200 level, I think I already said this